Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to the stream. KeyForge, grim reminders, spoilers. Oh my goodness. Yo, alright, so most of the other spoilers, like all the other updates that Ghost Galaxy has been putting out, I've been reading those updates, taking a look at those spoilers, and holy, have these spoilers been very fun and interesting to read. But I saw that there was another update that came out that Ghost Galaxy posted on the Grim Reminders campaign on GameFound, previewing Mars and Star Alliance, and I thought that it would be fun to react to them together, to read them. I have not read this update yet, and I want to check it out. I was on Discord, I was on the Discords, and I saw that this update had come out. Before we even start, we got my man, Zach Armstrong? Zach Armstrong is in this set? What's he doing here? From KeyForge Public Radio? Just straight up made it into a card. We got Teleporter Chief Tink over here. I don't know who these other guys are. That looks kind of like the Star Alliance mutant alien from Mass Mutation. Then we got this purple man. But yeah. So I wanted to react to this one with you guys together, previewing Mars and Star Alliance, and then we might go back and take a look at the other ones as well. But this might be a shorter stream. I just wanted to take a look at these spoilers on stream, react to them, and we'll go from here. Also, the Reaper of Ember pledge looks awesome. There's some good stuff in there. Anyway, previewing Mars and Star Alliance. Here we go. Let's take a look. Take a sneak preview of some of the newest cards in Houses Mars and Star Alliance. House Mars has been a favorite of many KeyForge fans since the game's debut. They return again in grim reminders with many new ways to extol the glory of the Martian ideal. Mars first, Mars forever. Here we are. Every dude with a creeper stash is Zach. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Whenever I see this style in some sort of KeyForge artwork or media, my mind just instantly goes to Zach. Okay. Here we go. So first off, we have Aembermedes, 4/2 creature, common creature. After fight, if you are haunted, capture 2 Ember. Scrap the least powerful friendly creature captures 2 Ember. Interesting. After fight, if you are haunted, capture 2 Ember. So if you have 10 or more cards in the discard pile, you can fight after fight to capture 2 Ember. And 4/2 isn't all too bad, I don't think, for fighting and being able to actually resolve that ability. Or if you're just in a panic situation and you absolutely need to capture something, then you can scrap it to capture 2 Ember onto the least powerful friendly creature. Aembermedes is a core card in Mars, providing 2 reliable ways to limit your opponent's Ember. If you're haunted, you can use its after fight ability to capture 2 Ember. Or alternatively, you can discard Aembermedes from your hand and resolve its scrap ability to have your least powerful creature capture 2 Ember. At common rarity, you're likely to see at least one of these in any Grim Reminders deck featuring House Mars. So yeah, this is a pretty solid source of Ember control at common, which you love to see. Next up, we have UFO, action card, also at common. Play discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a Mars card or run out of cards. If you discard a Mars card this way, put it into your hand. So it's literally Lethalogica, but in House Mars. Literally a Mars Lethalogica. So it's kind of a way to give you some efficiency. Move you through your deck quicker, get an extra Mars card into your hand. Personally, I've never been a huge fan of Lethalogica. Like, I don't really like the card Lethalogica. Sometimes I do. Most of the time, I don't really enjoy playing it. Meh to abduct. Oh, to the Aembermedes. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. It's not like a super flashy card or anything. I think it'll be nice just to have some Ember control at common, but yeah, I agree. It's nothing special. UFO, Mars Lethalogica. I do love the artwork. This Martian's jacket is absolutely incredible. I love this guy's jacket. UFO actually looks pretty cool. Kind of looks like the ammonia clouds coming out there, which is interesting. But yeah, okay. Mars Lethalogica. Whatever. Let's see what it says about this one. UFO is the Mars version of the Brobnar action card Sound the Horns. Okay, yeah, there you go. Or Brobnar Sound the Horns, that works too. And the Logos action card Lethalogica, which have appeared in previous sets. UFO is particularly good in Grim Reminders because it can fill up your discard pile and quickly get you haunted status. Okay, so in this set, there is another application for something like UFO, or for like a Mars version Sound the Horns or Lethalogica, is it will get you haunted quicker, most likely. In a lot of situations, it will get you there. Wonder if we see incubation chamber. That would be sweet. That'd be a cool reprint. I love incubation chamber. I would love to see that card return. All right, and then card number 3 here. Don't believe your eyes. That's some really weird artwork, like a super skinny little dinosaur dude, probably like a Saurian guy. Play, if you're haunted, a creature captures 2 ember from its own side. Otherwise, a creature captures 1. Also at common. So if you're haunted, a creature captures 2 from its own side. Otherwise, a creature on your side will capture 1. Interesting. So that's a card that you definitely want to be haunted, because a creature capturing 2 ember from its own side is almost like a delayed steal of 2, whereas this is just the capture of 1. So don't believe your eyes with UFO, I feel like, is pretty good, because UFO could get you haunted, and then don't believe your eyes to have your opponent capture 2 from their own side. I don't mind that one. And then at common, so like 3 of those. So then if you play like 3 of them all right in a row when you're haunted, it's like a creature captures 6 ember from its own side, and it can be any creature. It can be like a really small one or anything like that. That's pretty cool. I like that. Don't believe your eyes is another. There's no ember pip on it though, which I think kind of makes sense, but I don't know. No ember pip on there. Don't believe your eyes is another reliable ember control card. If you're not haunted, one of your creatures captures an ember from your opponent. That's nice, but the effect is much better if you're haunted. In that situation, you would choose one of your opponent's creatures to capture 2 ember from your opponent. Remember, when a creature with ember on it leaves play, the ember goes to its opponent's pool. So to get haunted, play Don't Believe Your Eyes to have an enemy creature. Get haunted, play Don't Believe Your Eyes to have an enemy creature of your choice capture 2 ember from your opponent, then destroy that creature so the 2 ember gets added to your pool. That's a big ember swing. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. You could like Don't Believe Your Eyes onto an enemy creature to have it capture 2 from its own side, and then fight into it with a Ductomatic. So then you get that ember for destroying the creature, and then also capture 2 ember. So that like removes 4 ember from the opponent's pool. Interesting. So all at common, good ember control at common. Really wants you to be haunted, and UFO can help you get you there. So those are some cool 3 cards for sure. All right, we got 3 more here. Oh, what is this? This artwork is crazy. All right, starting over here first. Common, 3 power, 0 armor. After Reap, choose an enemy creature. It gets -2 power until the end of the turn. Scrap until the end of the turn. The most powerful enemy creature is considered to have 1 power and 0 armor. That is so weird. Shrink Ray Technician. And this guy has 3 traits. Look at that. Scientist, Martian, and Mutant? What? Mutant trait returns from Mass Mutation? Excuse me? Scientist, Martian, Mutant. Interesting. Okay. So we don't see negative power very often. King of the Crag back in the day made it so that each enemy Brobnar creature would get -2 power when it was on the board. And then you had things like Shieldulator's Evil Twin, which when you put it on like as an upgrade on a creature, it would give -2 power to that creature. And then there was the Pale Star, which was the Dis artifact that made everything 1/0 as an Omni ability. So this is kind of just like giving -2 power to an enemy creature on a stick as a Reap effect. So that's really interesting. Until the end of the turn, the most powerful creature. So if you really need to get through to that most powerful creature, remove it from the board, you can scrap Shrink Ray Technician to get it off the board with something else. That's so interesting. Data Forge, welcome to the stream. How's it going? We're doing a spoiler reaction. We got some Grim Reminder spoilers. I haven't read this update yet. We're reading it right now. We're having a good time. We're looking at Shrink Ray Technician. This guy is weird. Negative power. That's a super rare like thing. Also, in one of the previous updates when we were looking at Brobnar cards, there was that one Brobnar action, like down to size or whatever, that lets you choose an enemy creature, and then for the remainder of the turn they're 1/0. I think it's something like that, but either way, we're seeing more like reducing the power of creatures effects in this set, which is really interesting. What the heck? And then the next one, Plague Wind. Until the end of the turn, each non-Mars creature gets -3 power? What? Yo, Grim Reminders is hype. Let's go, dude. 100% with stuff like Plague Wind. That's insane. That's such a cool card. Negative power gets around stuff like Ward and Armor as well. Yes. That is true, actually. Wow. It does get around Armor to an extent. And then, yeah, it does get around Armor. And then Ward as well. Because if you have a creature that's like 2 power and warded, but then you play Plague Wind, it gets -3 power, so now it's a no power creature, which means it dies. So the ward doesn't protect it. The ward would block it from dying, but then it's still under 0 power, so then it dies anyway after the ward. That's so weird. Plague Wind. That's gonna be actually a really interesting card. That's like, there's so many like small power creatures in this set, and a lot of the smaller power creatures are like tend to have more powerful effects because they're small, you know? They're easy to get through. And Plague Wind is literally just gonna, you're dead. You don't even have to do anything other than play Plague Wind. It's not like damage or anything. You're not damaging your own creatures. You're not hurting them in any way. You're just saying -3 power, or in the case of like Shrink Ray Technician, -2, or just put them right down to 1-0. That's so cool. I'm really liking the theme of negative power for Grim Reminders. Daniel, you're a genius. Anti-token tech. Yes, that's so true. Alright, and it shows up at common. So yeah, that's literally anti-token tech. Grim Reminders does have anti-token tech in it. Plague Wind, that's so awesome. Yes, and the negative power theme of Grim Reminders that's super cool. What a cool mechanic to bring back. I did not expect that at all, because it's such a rare mechanic. We haven't seen it very much. Okay, and then moving on to the third one here. Archive an artifact. Okay, Glimmer Spore. Uncommon action, no Ember Pip, again. Archive an artifact from play. If that card leaves your archives, put it into its owner's hand instead. Okay, so it's Abduction, but for artifacts. So like we've seen cards like Scoop Up and stuff like that, or Collector Worm, or anything that takes enemy creatures and puts them into your archives. But this is for artifacts, so it's like a really interesting form of artifact control. Uncommon, so you're not going to see it super often, but you will see it a pretty decent amount. And it's just straight up unconditional archive an artifact from play. I actually like that. Yeah, Trooper might actually be good. Trooper is still pooper. Yeah. So Plague Wind it's not going to kill token creatures like Trooper or Bellatorn Warrior, Berserker, regular Warrior. Things like that will still survive. Emberlings, if Norbin's Cavern is out, they'll still survive Plague Wind. But yeah, pretty much every other token creature dies to Plague Wind. And Plague Wind isn't going to trigger Prospector's wait, would it? It probably would, actually. I was gonna say that Plague Wind wouldn't trigger Prospector's Destroyed effect, but I think it still would, actually, so never mind. I was gonna say, what a great way to get around Prospector, but technically it would get destroyed because it's less than 0 power. It's like -2 power, so it's still dying, so the Destroyed effect would still go off. So never mind what I was about to say. But Glimmer Spore, some nice artifact control, a very unique form of artifact control. You haven't really seen anything like that yet. And it's like, if you never pick up your archives, then that artifact is just gone for good. If Memrox the Red gets reprinted, then I guess we'll see once we get to the bottom of the article if Memrox will be reprinted or not. Maybe, if they choose to show it. I guess we won't know for sure, but yeah, Memrox would be a good thing to protect that artifact. Let you still pick up your archives while keeping the enemy artifact. Or you could archive one of your own artifacts. I don't know what good that would do you, but it is an option. Shrink Ray Technician and Plague Wind both introduce a new concept from Mars, reducing the power level of creatures. A creature is destroyed anytime it has damage on it equal to or greater than its power, and that includes creatures with 0 damage who have their power reduced to 0. So yeah, it does specify destroyed. Keep in mind that Plague Wind follows a common theme for House Mars. The effect doesn't work on any Mars creatures, both yours and your opponent's. So Shrink Ray Technician won't die to it. Abductomatic isn't going to have its power reduced or anything like that. There you go. Pipped artifacts would work with Glimmer Spore. If you wanna get that Ember Pip played again, resolve that bonus Ember an additional time, then you could do that as well. So that does make sense. Glimmer Spore revisits another traditional theme for Mars, abducting cards from your opponent and putting them in your archives. Once an opponent's card is in your archives, it is very difficult for your opponent to get it back, unless you choose to add your archives to your hand, and so on and so forth. Okay. I like those ones. I actually really like those ones a lot. Those are super cool. Plague Wind is so cool. I mean, that could just be so crippling for your opponent. That's awesome. Plaguewind OP. Alright, onto the Star Alliance. Staff Sergeant Rhea. Uncommon creature. 3 power, no armor. Staff Sergeant Rhea's neighbors may be used as if they belong to House Star Alliance. Or you can scrap it to ready and use a friendly creature. I kind of wish Staff Sergeant Rhea would have deploy. I kind of wish she had deploy. But that might have made it a little too crazy. I don't know for sure, but that's really cool. They may be used, that could lead to some really cool house cheating and off-house stuff, obviously. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's kind of funky. It kind of reminds me of Rocketeer Triska, whose neighbors would enter play ready when the tide is high. And this one doesn't seem, I don't know. That's interesting. That's interesting. We'll just have to see how that one plays. We'll have to see how deck makeups are constructed and everything to see how consistently you can actually get Rhea out there and then survive a turn to then next turn use other stuff. I don't know. It's okay. Second one, we have an uncommon artifact. Seance Scanner? Shant Scanner? I don't know how to pronounce that. Some crazy scanner. Enhance an Ember Pip and 2 discard bonus icons. Action, if you are haunted, use a friendly non-Star Alliance creature. That's actually pretty awesome. I actually like that a lot. No Ember Pip. Enhances an Ember Pip though, so there's a Pip out there somewhere in your deck. I actually really like that. Action, if you're haunted, use a friendly non-Star Alliance creature. It's kind of like, I don't know, CXO Tabor lets you use any non-Star Alliance creature, like when you reap with them, or like play a non-Star Alliance card. So it kind of reminds me of that. But yeah, that is very Star Alliance. And the ability to do that every single time you call Star Alliance. Oh, there you go. No need to survive. The neighbor can be used the turn you play the card. Okay, that's actually pretty good then. I do like that. So you have the ability to just straight up play it, and then if its neighbor isn't Star Alliance, then you can use it. I actually like that. I actually like that quite a bit. Okay, that makes more sense then. That makes more sense. And then combine that with Seance Scanner or whatever, however you pronounce that. That's pretty good. I'm a fan. And then Unprepared. Common. Ember Pip. Play, choose a house, stun each creature of that house. So Blinding Light, but in Star Alliance. I'm not mad at that. I really like Blinding Light. And I kind of wish it was like stun each enemy creature of that house. But, I mean, Blinding Light wasn't like that, and it's fine. It's fine as a card. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm not 100% sure on how to pronounce your name, and I don't really want to butcher it. For Halaves, I probably destroyed your name. I'm so sorry. But welcome to the stream either way. We got Grim Reminder spoilers. We are popping off with some Star Alliance right now. Unprepared, Blinding Light. Interestingly, like Star Alliance has actually done a decent amount of stunning. I remember in Dark Tidings they had cards like Technobabble that stunned. They had stuff like Stunner, the artifact, the upgrade. So it's not like super uncharacteristic of them to stun stuff. And Unprepared actually looks pretty cool. I like that artwork too. It's like they're literally getting stunned. That's interesting. Also the eyeball inside Seance Scanner, that's kind of wacky. Ugh. Dude, this artwork is so, what is happening in this picture? Why is this so like murky and like weird? I don't even know. We hold our ground and stun the enemy into a momentary dance of helplessness. Wow, what a poetic flavor text that is. Daxter, welcome to the stream. Super glad to have you. We are out here with some Grim Reminder spoilers. Since they first crash landed on the Crucible, House Star Alliance has provided many ways for players to get more use out of their cards. Staff Sergeant Rhea is a great example of this. She gives you the ability to use each of her neighbors as if they belong to House Star Alliance. Make sure you give Rhea 2 non-Star Alliance neighbors in your bed line, so you can take full advantage of her ability. I wonder if they'll reprint Camaraderie, because being able to play Staff Sergeant Rhea and then have her between 2 non-Star Alliance creatures that can also be used as if they belong to House Star Alliance, and then Camaraderie Rhea to draw 4, that would be epic. Yeah, Rhea does look good. I'm actually a fan of that. I really like Seance Scanner too. Just being able to action, use a friendly non-Star Alliance creature if you're haunted every single time you call Star Alliance. Like, that's strong. That could lead to some really strong plays, for real. Seance. Okay. Seance scanner. I didn't know how to pronounce it, so thank you for telling me how. I was saying like Chance or like Seance scanner. Seance. Okay. Seance scanner. Cool. Alright, and then we have Seance Scanner. Lets you use one of your non-Starlands creatures on a turn when Starlands is your active house, provided you are haunted. To help you become haunted, Seance Scanner also enhances cards with 3 bonus icons, 1 Ember and 2 discard icons. Yeah, you're definitely going to want to be haunted when you have Seance Scanner out there. If your opponent has built up a large battle line of creatures from the same house, you can buy... Okay! A large battle line of creatures from the same house. More anti-token tech. Stun an entire house, an entire board of like 10 token creatures. Unprepared can do that for you. I like that. So now we have Unprepared and Plague Wind as some really good anti-token tech. I'm a fan of that. You can buy yourself some time by playing Unprepared. Remember that when a creature is stunned, the next time it is used, it can't do anything except exhaust and remove its stun counter. Cool. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, we have a common action, no Ember Pip. Into the Warp. That's a super cool artwork. It's like a lantern with a galaxy inside of it. Each player discards the top card of their deck. Destroy each creature that shares a house with a discarded card. That's interesting. So it's some decent board removal. Yeah, not my scholars. No. Scholars are stunned, man. Scholars will be stunned. What else even is there? What are some other decent tokens? Clerics stunned. Warriors stunned. Stun all of them. Okay, this is so interesting. Science Officer Kinkin, mentioned in the flavor text. I like it. We've managed to contain the phenomenon in a handheld vessel. So each player discarding top card of their deck. That helps players get closer to Haunted. And then, in a lot of scenarios, this is probably going to hit both battle lines, because you'll flip a card from your deck, and you'll probably have creatures, you might have creatures of that house, or if it's a mirror match, then you might be able to just wipe exclusively creatures in the opponent's battle line. If it's a mirror match, you both are matching all 3 houses. So Into the Warp feels kind of finicky. There's no chains. Again, you might be able to get some anti-token value out of it, because if they have like 13 grunts on the board or a whole bunch of blorbs or something, then you can hopefully hit like a Mars card on the opponent's side and then destroy all their Mars tokens, something along those lines. It's interesting. It's board removal at common. You don't hate to see it. And over here, common, 4 power, Triangulator Newsome. Deploy. After Reap, if you are haunted, move each... Oh, wow. If you are haunted, move each Ember from Triangulator Newsome's neighbors to your pool. Huh. That's... I like that. Actually, I really do. Deploy to put him wherever you want in your battle line, especially if you get him next to like some Saurian stuff. Is Saurian in this set? Wait, I don't remember if Saurian is in this set or not. Either way, even if they're not, we've seen plenty of capture so far. So the ability to put that captured Ember into your pool to, you know, get it away from the opponent. Sadly not. Okay, they're not in Grim Reminders. Okay. Triangulator Newsome would have went great with that. Haunted is really what the Tide should have been. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Haunted mechanic more than I was the Tide. The Tide is just not fun to play with, but Haunted actually looks like it's going to add so much funness into the game, into the decks that they show up in, into the set as a whole. I'm really enjoying the way it looks so far. There have been some cards and some effects that I haven't really been fond of that just look like, I don't know, this doesn't look great. I'm really hoping that Grim Reminders isn't going to be Dark Tidings 2.0. I don't think it will be, but there is that potential, I feel like, and I really hope it does not turn out that way. I don't think it will. We're just gonna have to see how the set plays. Once we get decks into our hand, then we can actually get a feel for what the set actually does and how the decks actually function, how they feel, what you can actually do with them in regards to discard bonus icons and the scrap ability. You know, I feel like there's gonna be especially when you're haunted. Yeah, we're just gonna have to see, but I think it'll be good. So after Reap, if you're haunted, so yeah, that's so good. It's like, so there's definitely not gonna be Ludo in this set or anything. No Imperial Scutums, no waits to really like protect the Ember on your friendly creatures, but Newsome can help like negate that a little bit. Get some of that Ember into your pool, especially if you've really piled up the Ember on there. If there's any way in this set to have creatures interplay ready, then Newsome could really do some damage. I think that's really good. No change for the Tide, so no Dark Tidings 2. Heck yeah, that's right. You don't have to gain 3 chains every time you're haunted. Every time at the start of your turn, if you're haunted, gain 3 chains. Nothing like that, thank goodness. So yeah, not Dark Tidings 2. It's not gonna make players' hand size super small all the time. Okay, on to the next one. We have a common upgrade. Star Alliance is known for their upgrades. Essence Entangler. This creature gets minus X power, more minus power. This creature gets minus X power, where X is the number of Ember on this creature. Oh, now that, speaking of Saurian, that is some anti-Saurian tech right there. Scrap, move 1 Ember from a creature to another creature. Interesting. So if you scrap it, you kind of get like a Consul Primus sort of effect, or like a Chant of Hubris effect. Or if Ember is really piled up on like a Worlds Collide Saurian creature that just got double tributed onto, then you can deal a ton of damage to that creature. Or not deal damage, reduce their power based on how much Ember's on that creature. So it's like tribute. Like almost like anti-tribute tech almost. That's interesting. I actually like that. It's not always gonna do a whole lot. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of scenarios, and a lot of the time it's not gonna really do a whole lot. But that's why it has the scrap ability. So if there's nothing that you can give minus X power to, at least you can scrap it and move Ember around the board a little bit. And at the very, very least, it is an Ember Pip. So there's that going on. Discarding is kind of the opposite of chains. Yeah, in a sense. I kind of see that. Okay, I kind of like these three cards. So much minus X power. Or like minus power so far that we've seen. Into the Warp can cause a lot of fun-filled destruction. You're probably thinking that it would be nice to know what the top card of your deck is before you play Into the Warp. Rest assured, Star Alliance has solutions for this. Remember when we were talking about captured Ember creatures earlier in this preview? If some of your creatures are under threat because they're holding onto some Ember, Triangulator Newsome can step in and save the day. It has the deploy ability, which lets you add Newsome anywhere in your battle line, not just the flank. Then, each time Newsome reaps when you're haunted, you can move all the Ember from each of its neighbors to your Ember pool. So this is interesting that they mentioned, rest assured Star Alliance has solutions for this. I wonder if they're reprinting Future Booster, because Future Booster is literally that. You could Future Booster to look at the top card of your deck if you don't want to discard it to Into the Warp because it might just hit your own board, or you just don't want to lose that card, then you can find that out with the Future Booster and then just leave it there. Or actually, yeah, you either leave it there or move it to the bottom of your deck. So that'd be a good reprint for Into the Warp. Essence Entangler is an upgrade that turns Ember on a creature into a serious liability. For each Ember on that creature, Essence Entangler gives it -1 power. You'll recall that if a creature has damage equal to its power, so on and so forth, usually you'll want to play its upgrade on one of your opponent's creatures instead of your own. As an interesting alternative, you could instead discard Essence Entangler and resolve its scrap ability to move 1 Ember from one creature to another. All right, so those are the Star Alliance ones. All right, cool. Finally, here. All right, this is what I'm looking forward to the most. Kind of. I mean, I really like the new cards, but it's always so interesting seeing what the reprints are going to be. All right, finally, here's a glimpse at some of the Mars and Star Alliance cards from previous sets that are returning in Grim Reminders. Okay, here we go. Subject Kirby? Medic Ingram? No, not Medic Ingram, not Medic Ingram, not Medic Ingram. Forget that. What else is there? That'd be good. Transporter Platform. I would love Transporter Platform to come back. Encounter Suit. Comm Officer Kirby. That might be a bit much. That might be a bit much though. Might be the Archons. Okay, let's just look. Okay, so we're starting off with Mars. Nice. Ironix Rebel is coming back. Scoop Up. Grabber Jammer. Psychic Network. Sure enough, Memrox the Red. That's so perfect. That's so perfect with which one was it? Glimmer Spore, that one. And then Extinction. Extinction, I like Extinction. Psychic Network is... It was so much better with token creatures, you know? Psychic Network was so much better with tokens. But Ironix Rebel does really help with Psychic Network quite a bit. Scoop Up, absolute classic. Of course, you can't have Scoop Up without Memrox the Red. And Grabber Jammer is coming back. I love Grabber Jammer. Classic Mars card. I actually have a Winds of Exchange deck with a Legacy Grabber Jammer, which is cool. Nice. I like those. I'm not mad at that at all. Ironix Rebel is so good. With things like Memrox. So Ironix Rebel, readying creatures such as Shrink Ray Technician, Abductomatic. That'll be good. That'll be cool to be able to ready and fight with Abductomatic, or just like read with it, or whatever you have to do, you know? So that's cool. I like those reprints a lot. That's a pretty solid set of reprints. Alright, on to the Star Alliance. Survey. Sensor Chief Garcia. Nice. Badge of Unity. Chief Engineer Walls. New Frontiers. And Forging an Alliance. Nice. Dude, there's so many key cheats in this set. There's so many key cheats in this set. I love that Grim Reminders is almost like the return of key cheats. Because over the last couple sets, there have been so few of them. But in older sets, like Age of Ascension and like Call of the Archons and stuff, there were a ton of key cheats. Worlds Collide had a ton of key cheats too. Mass Mutation only had like 3 or 4. Dark Tidings only had like 2. Winds of Exchange had 3, I think, if you count Ectocharge as the anomaly. And then there's this set, which just has a ton. Sensor Chief Garcia is awesome. You're never sad to see Sensor Chief Garcia. Survey would help you with the that one card, Into the Warp. Also, what a weird name, Into the Warp. Yeah, Survey helps with Into the Warp. Badge of Unity. You're gonna be able to get up to some really interesting, like, out-of-house shenanigans in this set, for sure. With things like the Badge of Unity, the Staff Sergeant Rhea, and the Seance Scanner. That's good. That's good. I like that. Chief Engineer Walls to get stuff like the Badge of Unity. I really hope they bring back like Collector Born. Collector Born would go so good in this set. Collector Born would go crazy in this set. New Frontiers. I like New Frontiers. And then Forging an Alliance. Heck yeah, dude. Nice. So there we have it. There we have it. Previewing Mars and Star Alliance. Update number 7. That's update number 7. We've done it. I like these cards. My top 3 cards from this update. Plague Wind, for sure. I really like Seance Scanner. And then Glimmer Spore. I think Plague Wind, Glimmer Spore, and Seance Scanner are my favorites. Seance Scanner is tight with Staff Sergeant Rhea. They're both pretty cool. I'm sure this is just a symptom of coming into the game when MM dropped, but Grim Reminders is coming up too quickly for me to get that excited. I've still barely gotten to explore Windex. Yeah, I know. It's like, especially for the people that still have not received their Winds of Exchange shipment. Like, there's still a bunch of people out there that haven't even gotten to play with Winds of Exchange yet, that backed the Winds of Exchange campaign, and now this stuff is dropping with the Grim Reminder stuff. How must that feel? How must that feel? Like, I've gotten a ton of exposure to Winds of Exchange. I am very ready for the next set, but I know it's not the same for everybody. It's crazy. Yeah. Well, hopefully you still get to explore lots of Winds of Exchange cuts. You're also welcome to the stream. Super glad to have you, as always. But yeah, Grim Reminders, man. It's coming out. It's the next set. It's happening. That's epic. Yeah, it's funny that they chose to reveal like the Mars and Star Alliance stuff together, because they're both like the exact opposite theming wise. Like, Mars is just super self-centered. They just want Mars, like it said in the beginning, Mars first, Mars forever. Star Alliance is the exact opposite. They're just like, we want everybody to get along. We want you to be able to use everybody all at the same time. We want to work together. Mars is like, screw that. So cool, there we have it, Mars and Star Alliance. Now these other ones I've read already. There's like the scrap ability one, Ecodon and Unfathy, Brobnar Untamed. We could take a look at these though, just real quick, because I did have some thoughts on these. First off, this artwork for Awakened Titan is so cool. But then you look at him in the card, and it's like, why the heck does he not have the location trait? Lollop the freaking Titanic is like half this guy's size, and he's a location. Look at this. Awakened Titan has a whole entire city on him. Or is that just a graveyard? When I first looked at it, it looks like a city, so I was like, wow, this guy's huge. It might just be a graveyard now that I'm looking closer at it, but even so, a graveyard is still a location. Why is Awakened Titan not a location? They gotta errata that. They need to, before they start printing the decks, they need to put the location trait on this guy. Otherwise, I will revolt. Otherwise, I will not be backing the pledge. They need to put location trait on this guy. Ah, okay. That rant is over. Awakened Titan. He's super cool. 10 power and everything. He's kind of like Frost Giant doesn't ready, and Awakened Titan doesn't ready unless you are haunted. But I mean, it's not that hard to get haunted in this set, as we've seen. So, and he has taunt, and he's just 10 power. He's just straight up 10 power. Guppy894, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. We're checking out the spoilers. Very glad to have you in the stream. Welcome. Down to size, I like down to size as well. It reminded me of Pale Star. And now that we've seen the Mars stuff as well, the Shrink Ray Technician that we just saw in Mars has that scrap effect. That's pretty much down to size. I like that. Mournful Barnburner is kind of whatever. Soul Bomb is awesome. It's like it's kind of like Mighty Javelin, but to everybody. It's kind of like super Mighty Javelin. Imagine if the traits in KeyForge made more sense, right? Exactly. Heavyweight Morik, I love. Okay, well, the first thing I love about Heavyweight Morik is his design. Like, the thickness on this man is remarkable. And that ponytail and everything. He's literally a better Krog the Clumsy. He's 1 extra power with the exact same splash attack too, and a scrap ability. And then Concussive Transfer is just amazing. Play, deal 3 damage to a creature, redistribute all damage on creatures among all creatures. Like, that's just amazing. It's like heal all your own dudes and then just do whatever you want to the opponent's battle line. It's just deal all the damage in the world to the opponent's battle line. Especially the Soul Bomb, like Soul Bomb into Concussive Transfer. Like, what more is there to be said? And then the Untamed just popped the heck off with these spoilers. Grave Pixie is cool. It's Dust Pixie, like what, 4.0 at this point. Destroyed if you were haunted, archive it. So it's a recurable Ember Pip essentially. Ember Storm, for each Ember in your pool, deal 1 damage to an enemy creature. Combine that with Rot Feast. For the remainder of the turn, gain 1 Ember each time a creature is dealt damage. So the way I see Ember Storm is worded kind of like Sack of Coins. So you get to choose where that damage goes. So if you have like 6 Ember in your pool, you could do like 3 damage there, 2 damage there, and 1 damage there. Or you could do like 1 damage across 6 creatures. So Ember Storm for the Ember Pip, and then deal 6 damage to 6 different creatures under the effect of Rot Feast, which also has an Ember Pip. So Ember Pip, Rot Feast, gain 1 Ember each time a creature is dealt damage, and then Ember Storm for an Ember Pip, deal 6 damage if you have 6 in your pool, gain 6 Ember, so that you just gain 8 Ember in that 1 turn. And that's just with the 2 cards, Rot Feast and Ember Storm, if you have 6 Ember in your pool. It's absolutely insane. And then Rot Feast's effect persists, so that then even if you're fighting, so if you fight, it's just like each time a creature is dealt damage. That's not even an enemy creature. So what you could do is pretty much every single fight. So when you're in Untamed, if you fight a friendly Untamed creature into an enemy creature and they're both dealt damage, that's 2 Ember. That's 2 Ember gain. It's essentially every fight is 2 Ember if both creatures are dealt damage. It's absolutely insane. Rot Feast is like the new burst card, like super burst card. I mean, like we've known Untamed to be the burst house, and they are continuing that theme in this set hardcore, and Rot Feast is an absolutely critical part of that. I think it's more of a zombie that was raised and awakened from the graveyard. He isn't the graveyard. He came from the graveyard and has the graveyard on his back. The location would make more sense if they were out of that. Yeah, I could see that. He kind of like, oh yeah, because there's graveyard behind him, so he kind of like stood up from the graveyard. So he's not the graveyard, but when I first saw that, I was like, wow, there's a whole entire city on his back. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, Untamed is just absolutely wild. I just opened my first Winds of Exchange deck in German. It just came out at the game convention in Essen. I have a question. Can I ask now or better in comments later? It's about a specific card. Go ahead and ask right now. I would love to see your question. We can answer it for you. Very cool that you were able to open your first WoW deck in German. That's super cool. But yeah, these two cards, Emberstorm and Rotfeast. Well, actually, Rotfeast in particular, just ridiculous. That's going to be a staple card in competitive Untamed Grim Reminders decks. That's going to be a staple card. You're going to see that. I wonder if you can get like multiples. I'm sure you can. It's an uncommon. It is uncommon. We do have to note that it is uncommon. You're not going to see it all the time. But it definitely is possible at uncommon to get multiples of Rotfeast. So you're gaining 2 Ember each time a creature deals damage. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, the new house is cool. The new house is cool. Geistoid has some cool stuff. We have a new Murmuk. So that makes what? We have regular Murmuk, imprinted Murmuk, Mustic Murmuk, Mukling, and now Skeletal Murmuk. We have 5 different kinds of Murmuks now, which I love that. I love that they're continuing the trend of the Murmuks. While you're haunted, your opponent's keys cost +2. Very Murmuk themed effect. I like it. Till the Earth, a reset. Each player discards or shuffles their discard pile into the deck. I do like that. Also enhancing more Ember Pips, which is cool. Warfaline. I do love that they're bringing back the cats. Like they had in Mass Mutation, they had Flumph, Lumalu, and Unoya with Mercy Malkin Queen. The cat trait, I mean, Flumph is just an iconic untamed creature. I've been saying it for ages. I want a Flumph plush. We have a Fuzzy Gruin plush. Give me a Flumph plush. I want one so bad. That would be the perfect thing to make a plush out of, please. Ah, I love freaking Flumph, dude. And now they're bringing back cats in Grim Reminders. I'm so happy. Warfaline. And then also, in one of the other updates, the Equidon one, there's the card Security Detail, the Equidon action, which is, alright, for one thing, it's just a better taxing journey, but also, it has a cat on the art. Like, an adorable cat. And I love it. That's like one of my favorite cards already. But Warfaline is cool. At 3 power, I don't feel like its after fight effect is ever gonna happen, but at least it does happen as a play effect as well. Brick Nasty coming back? Like, come on, let's go, dude. You can't just introduce Brick Nasty in Winds of Exchange and then not reprint him. They're bringing back Brick, dude. I'm so happy that they're bringing back Brick Nasty. And Shockherder, Berserker Slam, Headhunter, 4 awesome cards. Iron Obelisk, Perfection. I mean, that's a really banger selection of Brobnar reprints. And then same with the Untamed. Like, I cannot believe they're bringing back Witch of the Eye. Like, that's like the classic witch. Like, Hunting Witch and Witch of the Eye are like the iconic 2 witches. Oh, and probably Dusk Witch too. Like, the 3 of them, those are like the top 3 like most dangerous like creatures ever. Oh, so good. Oh man, I'm talking a lot. My throat is getting dry. People were worried about Windex being too much power creep, but this set is actually looking like a bit too much. I hope that's just a poor take on my part though. Yeah, Windex I feel like probably had some. Alright, I remember people being worried about it. And this set, there's some really good stuff. There's like some really power cards in here. I don't know if there's gonna be a ton of power creep though. There might be. And honestly, like, most people don't agree. Or actually, I don't really know. But I feel like, for me, I really like the powerful sets. Like, apart from the impact on the longevity of the game or how like past sets will fare or anything like that, the stronger the set is, the happier I am. And that's just me. That's just my play style. I like the really big, flashy, powerful sets. So stuff like Winds of Exchange is right up my alley. And the stronger the cards, the stronger the set in general, the happier I am. But that's just me. Is the card Halifest from Brobnar always come with the 4 band members? And what is your favorite token creature? So yes, Halifest always comes with the 4 Breakin' band members. So it'll always come with Harmala Toon, Get Hammer, Vulcan, Brick Nasty. You'll always get those 4 with Halifest. Sometimes you might even get multiple of them. One of my Halifest decks, my favorite Halifest deck that I personally own in my collection, it's actually one of my name decks. It actually has 2 Brick Nasties in it. So yeah, Halifest always comes with the 4 band members, sometimes multiples, sometimes 2 Harmala Toons, which is just really stupid. And my favorite token creature, You know, it's the normie answer. It's the expected answer. It's what everybody says, but I do really like Prospector. But apart from Prospector, let's take Prospector out of the equation. Because it's just like the easy option. It's the easy choice. Like, who isn't gonna say Prospector? I really like my favorite token creature. I'm trying to think. It's like none of them are too flat. Oh, okay. I think Rebel. So, say Prospector's not in the game. Rebel. Rebel is. I love Rebel. It's like Rebel doesn't look like much on paper. Like just the Reap, deal 1 damage to a creature. It's like that doesn't look like much on paper. It's a pretty small effect. But the way it combos with Mars, with things like Mars needs Ember and stuff. The Mars needs Ember, things like that, and then the fact that it has the Ironix trait, so it goes with things like Ironix Banner and stuff. I think Rebel is really cool. Prospector is not my favorite, probably not even my top 3. What is your favorite, Ketzer? What is your favorite? I would love to know. Yeah, Prospector is definitely up there for me, and then Rebel is definitely. Those are probably like, both of those are definitely my top 2 for sure. And then, all right, so Reclaim by Nature, just incredible artifact control, and then Mimicry. Like, what the heck? They're bringing back Mimicry. What an amazing reprint. I love it so much. Feels like the scrap mechanic is pushing us into the path of cards doing too much. Interesting. Yeah, because a lot of the cards do have like some sort of effect to begin with, like their play effect, reap effect, fight effect, whatever, and then also scrap effect on top of that. So whether you play it or not, it does have some sort of effect for you. So yeah, I could see the argument of cards doing too much, but yeah, I don't mind. It's kind of weird. We're just gonna have to see how it plays. We'll have to see how it plays. Low Dawn is cool. Regrowth is cool. Like, what a great set of reprints. I'm so happy with those reprints. And then lastly, we'll fly through these ones pretty quick. The Equidon and Unfathomable. There were some insane cards in here. First off, Technorachnophobia is pretty cool. Some Ember control at uncommon, and literally will get you haunted instantly. I mean, it's like discard the top 10 cards of your deck. You literally just need 10 cards in your discard pile to be haunted. So Technorachnophobia gets you haunted immediately. Siphonat Terran is pretty cool. Some more, it's kind of like a insane. Yes, Rebel gang all the way. Rebel is probably my favorite for the same reasons you mentioned. Yes, dude, Rebel is amazing. I love Rebel. I'm glad we can agree on the Rebel token being awesome. Why don't you like Prospector? Why is Prospector not in your top 3? That I am very curious about. Honestly, I don't really know if like a ton of people would say Prospector is their favorite token. I just feel like it's the easy choice. So maybe it's not a lot of people's favorite, but it seems like it would be just based on how powerful it is. And then there was Historian Lee Darkin. Got a bunch to set up for a painting class, but thanks for the stream. Alrighty, thanks for stopping by, Ketzer. It was great having you. Good luck with your painting class. Also, I saw like all those different like painting things you did with like the houses, where it was like the paintings that you did for the houses, all abstract and everything. I love those. But yeah, good luck with the class. Thank you for stopping in. It was good having you. All right, so Historian Lee Darkin. After Reap, each player returns the top card of their discard pile to their hand. It's like, look at the reprints. Generous Offer. Generous freaking Offer. Shopping Spree. Generous Offer and Shopping Spree. Bruh. Being able to, all right, so like Generous Offer. Generous Offer, steal 2. Reap with Historian Lee Darkin. Put it back into your hand. Play Generous Offer again. Steal another 2. That's a steal 4 with the Reap. What is that, like a 9 Ember Swing? I don't know how to do math. It's like 9 Ember Swing or something. Oh yeah, Talent Scout. They're bringing back Talent Scout. Like, oh my goodness. The reprints. They went crazy with the reprints in Equidon. Shopping Spree. Discard your hand. Draw more cards. And then Reap with Historian Lee Darkin. If you don't like those cards, put Shopping Spree back in your hand. Play it again. Discard again that hand that you just drew into with Shopping Spree from the first time. That's insane, dude. I love that. Historianly Darken is popping off, actually. And then this is the card I was talking about before. Security Detail has the cat. I love it. The return of the cats, dude. This is the feline set for real. Fury Nugget is on the move. Let's go, dude. Fury Nugget all the way. Incarnation Pod. That one's kind of cool. It's like anti Dark Discovery or something. I don't actually, no, it's not. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's weird. Yes, love the cat, dude. Security Detail is amazing. We got the Warfaline and Untamed. I really wonder if they're gonna reprint Mercy Malkin Queen. Mercy doesn't show up in the reprints section of the Ecodon or of the Untamed update. That'd be a cool reprint with these cats coming back. And then over here, all right, these Unfathy cards. Thought Swim. This creature gains while your opponent is haunted. This creature cannot be dealt damage. What the heck, dude? That is like the ultimate punishment for your opponent being haunted. Like that's just rude. That's just cruel. It's like, while your opponent is haunted, this creature cannot be dealt damage. So fighting isn't going to do anything. Direct damage isn't going to do anything. It's obviously still vulnerable to things like direct removal, board wipes, bounce, purge, the usual, but it can't be dealt damage. And throwing that on something like Nemo Leech. After Reap, if your opponent is haunted, steal 2, otherwise steal 1. It's like Drekker with 2 less power, or when you're haunted, when your opponent is haunted, you get to steal 2. You get the Ember for the Reap, and then you steal 2. Like, stealing 2 is such an absurdly strong ability. And then you could do that over and over, and then protect it with the Thought Swim, so that when they're haunted, not only can it not be dealt damage, but they're also stealing 2 when Nemo Leech Reaps. There you go, Plague Wind. Plague Wind can counter it as well. Plague Wind can get around Thought Swim also. But yeah, it's crazy. Or then Thought Swim onto something like Tangi-Mangi, or Tanji-Manji, however you say that. While your opponent is haunted, their keys cost +3. Like, Unfathomable is the ultimate house for punishing your opponent when they're haunted. Like, your opponent does not want to be haunted if they're up against an Unfathomable deck. It's absolutely insane, and I love it. Or Trawler, if you are haunted, capture all your opponent's Ember. It's like Anthony 2.0 or like Drumble 2.0. Like Trawler is amazing. Like what? And it's a common. Like what the heck? That's disgusting. That's a common. Like at a common, you just get to capture all your opponent's Ember. Like what a pain that's gonna be. That's gonna be such a pain. And then Tanji-Manji, like it's just disruption upon disruption upon disruption. It's like they are not letting off the disruption from Winds of Exchange. I can tell you that much. So like if your opponent is haunted, and then Thought Swim is put on this thing, then it's going to be really hard and at common for your opponent to deal with Tangi-Mangi. A lot of the time. Beam of Forgetting, reveal a random card from your opponent's hand, put that card on the bottom of their deck. Like, that's insane. With the Dark Discovery reprint, it's like literally Beam of Forgetting, Dark Discovery, free key right there. Like, what the heck? That's a common. That's a common card. That's so good. 2 Beam of Forgettings and a Dark Discovery. That's gonna be a Unfathomable pod. Like there's gonna be Unfathy pods out there, and those are gonna be like some very sought after pods. Actually, like for Alliance and stuff, like triple Beam of Forgetting Dark Discovery decks. Those are gonna be sought after Alliance pods, or just sought after decks in general. Absolutely. Covetous Hema amazing, Kaup amazing, Catch and Release amazing, Corrode amazing. I mean, Kaup has just been a mainstay ever since Dark Tidings. Covetous Hema is awesome. Yeah, so good. Catch and Release. Catch and Release, such an amazing board clear. What is Haunted? Haunted is when you have 10 or more cards in your discard pile. It's like a kind of status that you gain. So if you have 10 or more cards in your discard pile, then you're considered to be haunted. Same goes for your opponent. And then that's when your effects like Trawler can go off. So if you're haunted, that is 10 or more cards in your discard pile, then you can play Trawler to capture all your opponent's Ember. Otherwise, that play effect doesn't do anything. Same with like things like Tanji-Manji, things like Thought Swim actually punishes your opponent for being haunted, or you have things like Cypher Neptarian, things like that. Alexander, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Is Dark Discovery still a linked rarity? I would assume so. Can we zoom in? Yeah, the linked rarity symbol is appearing with Dark Discovery here. So I'd assume that means then that yes, it will be, it'll still be paired with Drawn Down and Dive Deep. So I'm pretty sure all three of those cards are still coming together. So that's just even more utility and ability to pull off Dark Discovery as easily as possible. So if you have Drawn Down, Dive Deep, and some Beam of Forgettings, I mean, it should not be difficult for you to pull off Dark Discovery, which is just crazy. How many turns to become haunted? 1 to 2 turns for fast decks, 4 turns for slow. I would assume, I mean, there's a few cards that, I mean, will just get you haunted like right away. So I mean, if you play something like Technoarachnophobia, like turn 1, I mean, you're just haunted instantly. So yeah, I'd say probably for fast decks, probably 1 to 2 turns. And for slow decks, 4 turns might be a bit much. Maybe closer to like 3. Maybe like, yeah, 3 to 4 turns. But then again, with things like the discard bonus icons, like if your deck has a lot of discard bonus icons, I mean, that's going to get you there even faster. So I mean, probably like on average, like I feel like most decks will probably be able to reach haunted status within like 3 or 4 turns for sure. That's how I would see it. But yeah, I think this set is going to be super cool. Easy Dark Discovery trigger, true, but at the cost of half or more of the Unfathomable House in the deck, true. Yeah, I mean, because that's already like 4 or 5 cards that is just centered around Dark Discovery. I mean, Beam of Forgetting obviously has like some decent utility besides just the Dark Discovery. But yeah, if you have like all those cards, like that means you're probably missing out on other valuable cards like Covetous Hema, Cowl Patroller, things like that, just because there's so much in there that's dedicated towards a single Dark Discovery, which gets purged when you pull it off. So I mean, it's not like you pull it off multiple times. So yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But yeah, I think that'll do it for tonight's stream. I just wanted to go over these spoilers and updates with you guys, just so we could see, just so I could get my reaction out there, and then also hear your guys' thoughts on them. And then I hadn't read this Mars and Starlines one yet, so it was super cool getting to read through that one with you guys, with Zach Armstrong in the background here. Cameo. When am I gonna show up? When am I gonna show up in a KeyForge card? That's my question. Zach Armstrong has been in like 3 of them. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I might do another stream like this as more updates roll out, so we can react to the future spoilers together. Also, we didn't go over these spoilers. There's more cards in this one, but we might take a look at those ones next time. But yeah, thanks for the stream. Thanks to you guys for stopping by. It was great having you. I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see you all again in the next one. See you later.